and just a couple dudes cruising around on electric vehicles. I don't think you ever look more gangster than you do right now. What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. This is the weirdest thing that you're probably seeing on the internet today.
For sure.
This is my buddy Mike. Some of you may know him as Mrgunsngear. I'm down here visiting in North Carolina, and this is not a gun video, obviously.
No, absolutely not.
Maybe you don't even know who we are, but you just happen to come across this video, whatever. Mike's a buddy of mine, and for a long time now he's been like, yo, I know you do electric skateboards and one wheel and electric vehicle type of things on your channel.
But yeah, I was like, my friend who lives in the neighborhood makes some really cool stuff, and you need to check it out.
I was like, okay, I was expecting some like welded together, like I didn't know what to expect. Long story short, we have these behind us right now.
Not the dog.
Not the dog. And yeah, we're gonna take a closer look at what these things actually are.
For sure.
So first up, what we have is known as the Rocket, and this is coming from a company called US Green Products. The Rocket is an electric motorcycle, and it was designed sort of after cafe racer style motorcycles. This thing weighs just over 150 pounds. It has a similar form factor to my old Grom, which you may have seen on the channel. And the specs on this thing are actually pretty impressive. It is powered by a 3,000 watt hub motor in the rear wheel, and they are advertising a top speed of 60 miles an hour for a range of 60 miles. Now, for today's purposes, we obviously aren't going to be able to test all of those to its fullest extent. And also for safety reasons, these are limited right now because these are actually a prototype version. The controls on the Rocket are pretty straightforward. They are basically just like any motorcycle that you're already used to riding. The only difference is there is no clutch on the left side, so you just have a regular control unit for the headlights and the turn signals. And then on the right side, you have a front brake as well as the throttle. There is a little heads-up display where a gas tank would be on a traditional motorcycle, and that of course is where you see battery outputs for the vitals of this motorcycle. They are offered in a few different colors, from black and gray, green, and of course this white. Now moving on to this thing, which legit looks like it came straight out of a futuristic movie. This is called the Simba X Unicycle. This one is also powered by a hub motor, and there's a lot of technology going on inside of here that I don't fully understand since this is my first impression. Of course, there has to be gyroscopes and everything to keep this thing balanced while in motion, but basically it also runs off of a hub motor, and with the current specs, they're advertising that this thing will go for 25 miles, and it should give you a max speed of 15 miles per hour. There are some added safety features. As you can see on the front, there are some extra wheels. Because of the lean angle and design of this thing, you will only be able to go up 15-degree hills. But I would assume for a more experienced rider, if you for some reason had those off, you would be able to have a more extreme lean angle. The handlebar controls are almost not necessary because you really do not have to ride this thing with your hands on. It's actually easier to have your hands down by your side or just resting on your lap. But in an emergency situation, there is a thumb brake there that will lean the unit backwards. There's also a place to keep your phone on this one if you need GPS directions or if you're running some sort of odometer app. The foot plates are metal and flip up if you need to make a tighter turn. And overall, I've never really seen anything like this in person, and of course, I've never ridden anything like this either. So as you guys can probably tell, that exceeded my expectations. I really didn't know what to expect. Definitely wasn't expecting like finished products that are readily available now. There's actually a website, which I'll leave a link for in the description down below. And Mike has had some experience with these.
Yeah, so I've been riding these for 4 or 5 months now, just testing them out. The owner wanted me just to give him input. I rode motorcycles for well over 15 years. I hurt my back now, so I don't do it anymore, but that's a long story. Anyway, point is, I'm a pretty experienced rider, but these things are awesome. Like, the power they give you just from the start is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, don't do it the first time because you might fall off, but like for real, like if you get on it, you get on it.
You'll see us in a second here. We went over to his house just so I could see what it is, and I sat on it and rode it up the road and back, and I was like, all right, dude, we need to go get the camera. Yep. So we're gonna take both of these things out now, and we'll come back and just give some final first impression thoughts and let you guys know what we think.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, guys, we're getting ready to rock here. I'm riding the Rocket. Mike is going to ride the Simba. This thing is basically like a motorcycle. It's legit turnkey. Down here is the ignition. You get your battery indicator here, which shows you voltage and probably some other stuff. This is literally my first time on here, so I'm not exactly sure yet. And then you got a kill switch. You got regular motorcycle controls here. You got turn signals. You even have an odometer. This is a test unit, and he has 2,600 miles on this thing already, which is crazy impressive. Really nice bar end mirrors. These are actually like what I put on my normal motorcycles. And then once you turn that key, there is a safety on the rear brake here. So as long as you have that pressed, it is not going to move. And then of course, if you let that go, this thing is ready to rock. The thing is, I'm going to put the camera away because this thing is super powerful, but I will throw a GoPro on my head to give you guys sort of a first person perspective. And just a couple dudes cruising around on electric vehicles. I don't think you ever look more gangster than you do right now. Yeah, exactly. So these are governed right now, or at least this one. So I don't know if you guys can hear me on this GoPro, but first impression is that this thing is actually really smooth. The power is obviously instant. It's just like riding a zero motorcycle. Yeah, this thing is limited on the power right now, but I'll give you guys an idea of how quickly you can accelerate. A motorcycle.
I know.
Like in every sense of the word.
Yep.
All right, we're at the halfway point for now. What's your first impression of the Simba?
Yeah, it's awesome. This one is the first time I've actually rode this particular model, and I mean, it's fun for sure. It's really weird though for folks who haven't like ridden stuff like this before. You gotta be careful where you point your head. Where your head goes, the vehicle's gonna go too.
Similar to a new motorcycle, like a new motorcycle rider, you really have to look through the turn because if you're staying straight, you're gonna go right off the road.
Absolutely.
The Rocket is similar to a zero motorcycle, which I've ridden in the past, but at a fraction of the cost, which it's still kind of mind-boggling to me that you can get one of these for like $3,200, I believe is what they are right now.
That's the Rocket, yeah.
Yeah, this is the Rocket, and I'll talk about that more later, but we're gonna switch now, and I'm gonna ride the Simba, and I think you're better at it than me because you've been on them before.
I have.
We'll see how this goes.
We'll go slow and smooth.
All right, let's do it. Oh. That is the most futuristic thing ever. All right, let's see. I'm trying to see if it's balanced. I guess we're good to go. No hands. Hands will kill you. We learned that lesson. How were you cruising so fast on this thing? Now, that actually looks gangster. I was joking that this thing looks gangster. That actually is really cool. I ride electric skateboards and one wheels all over the place, but you're not doing 60 miles an hour. All right, guys, we're back from our rides, and I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll start with the Rocket because that's the most like easiest thing to relate to.
Yeah.
Have you ridden an electric motorcycle before?
This is the only one I've ridden.
Okay, and it's very much an electric motorcycle. I don't know if he classifies it as a bike, but to me, straight up, does 60 miles an hour for supposedly 60 miles. That is super impressive. That's like feasible in any small town. Could you imagine that at like a beach house?
Yeah, I mean, awesome. You just,
instead of like a moped?
Right,
or...
just make a quick run to the store or whatever, come back all day long.
Super convenient, and I mean, both of us were about like 5'10"-ish, and I'm 180 pounds, whatever you are.
About 195.
It's comfortable, like no complaints. It's like a little Street Fighter, sort of cafe racer style. That is probably my favorite. The Simba X, not so much my style. That's more of like a fun type of thing, in my opinion.
I agree.
Similar to how, to me, an electric skateboard with 4 wheels, say a boosted board, is going to be sort of like the Rocket, that you take places quickly to get around town. Whereas a 1 wheel, you can do the same things on it, and you can take it off-road probably a little bit easier. But for me, the 1 wheel is more of a fun type of deal.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it could be used for some practicality, I suppose, but
yeah,
I agree. It's fun. Like everyone who drives by, like smiles and laughs.
They're like, "What are these dudes doing?" But yeah, I'm sure if we spend like a day or two riding it, I mean, practice a little bit, I'm sure we could be cruising around on those things. That'd be so funny to watch.
It would.
Maybe we'll practice up and then do a follow-up video to this stuff in the future. All right, well, if you guys have any questions, you can let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, our time with these was fairly limited, but I will try to answer anything as best as possible. Big thank you to US Green Products for letting us test these things out. The release is actually tomorrow when we're filming this in Raleigh, North Carolina, I believe. So he's going to be taking a lot of these machines that he creates there and showing them off, and I hope it goes really well. If you guys want to check out the website, of course, I will leave a link for that in the description down below. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I knew he would like them though. Like I said, I've been telling him about these for months, and it delivered, right?
I was not expecting this to be a first collaboration. This is it's pretty good though. We're gonna keep this up.
Absolutely.
All right, well, if you guys are new to the channel, consider clicking subscribe. Make sure you check out Mike's channel as well. I'll leave that linked down below. I make new videos every week, and so does he, so check us out. Thank you guys for the support. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.
See ya.